The stakes couldn't be higher for scientists looking for the cause of CCD. And back in New York, less than 8 months into the investigation, the CCD working group has had a breakthrough. DNA tests have isolated a single suspect, a virus found in nearly all of the CCD hives. It's a virus that until now was found only in Israel, called IAPV, Israeli Acute Paralysis Virus. The group believes they've found the culprit. The team now turns to the more difficult question. How did the virus get to the United States? All test results seem to point to one likely source. Australia. Researchers and bee enthusiasts from around the world gather at the annual Apimondia Bee Conference. But this year, a shadow hangs over the festivities. The CCD working group has just announced their findings, that colony collapse disorder may have been triggered by a virus found in Australian bees. Dr. Jeff Pettis from the U.S. Department of Agriculture has come to address the issue of CCD.
Good afternoon.
And the breaking news has made the topic especially sensitive. Dr. Pettis explains how the virus was discovered, and Australian bee exporters are understandably nervous.
We found this particular virus in packaged bees which had come into the U.S. from Australia. And we sampled those bees before they were actually introduced into the U.S. bees, into U.S. colonies. So we sampled them right out of the packages.
He hopes to calm any fears by reiterating that the findings are far from conclusive.
We still have a combination of factors going on, and this particular virus may be just an indicator of that, or it could be acting as a pathogen, but we need to find out.
Dr. Pettis says it's still too early to say where exactly the virus originated.
Where did the virus come from? One thing that gets missed is that we found this particular virus in royal jelly from China as well. We cite it as being present in the U.S., Australian bees, and royal jelly from China. So the question of where it's come from and where, who had it first, that's really unanswered at this time.
Scientists will now begin working to understand the virus and to develop a way to fight it. One plan is to use aggressive Africanized bees to engineer a new breed of super bee, resistant to all kinds of disease.
Africanized bees appear to be very resistant to these viruses as a whole. So if we could select those traits that give them that resistance, put it in our nice docile bees, get rid of the defensiveness that those bees have, we could have maybe a much stronger strain of bee.
Whatever methods they develop to fight the virus, scientists stress that bees are up against more than a single threat.
There's something more going on here than just this virus. This virus may be the cause of CCD, or even a sort of the straw that broke the camel's back if CCD is caused by a combination of factors. This may be the one that pushes them over the edge. But certainly this virus alone is not the reason why worldwide we're having a decline of pollinators.
Honeybees still have problems. If we find a cure for whatever the virus is, it doesn't necessarily mean that the honeybee populations will recover. They still have many other stresses to deal with.
Although the bee's future is uncertain, colony collapse disorder has ensured that this extraordinary animal will no longer be taken for granted.
What CCD has done is it's highlighted the fact that bees are in trouble. But there are a lot of bees dying every year, and they've been dying for 20 or 30 years like this. And we need to address that issue of bee health.
If there's anything good that could come out of colony collapse disorder, first is having the attention by the media and the public on the problem here. That people beginning to realize how important bees and pollinators are.
Beekeepers anxiously wait to see if this winter, almost a year after it first appeared, CCD will strike again. They emphasize that we have never had more at stake.
We're scared to death because 1/3 of all the food we put in our mouths is put there by a honeybee. So in a long-term effect, it could be a very damaging thing to our whole, way of survival.
Honeybees pollinate all those foods that nutritionists are exhorting us to increase our consumption of. It's the fruits, nuts, and vegetables. We'll still have bread, but all the color and vitality will be much harder to get and much more expensive.
We need to be prepared to eat gruel without anything else if we don't have any of these pollinators.
I think we should be concerned as a world about what's happening. People are saying, well, we could get by eating wheat and corn and that. But yes, but that we would lose everything else that makes life so special.